There we go. Welcome to Bon Jovi Discussions. Today, I have my buddy Dave Bain, as known as DJ Dave, who is a big part of Runaway Tours, and he DJs for them at all these different trips. So, Dave, tell them about yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm DJ Dave from the Jersey Shore, Belmar, New Jersey. I've been working with Runaways since 2009. Did the cruises. I do most of the Runaway trips, especially all the ones in America. Basically, I'm the guy who does your welcome party, does your before and after show parties. Have some fancy stuff behind me, as that's our Caribbean cruise lineup. There's a Mediterranean lineup with collateral on it. Then have DJ Dave from a meet and greet, my cat, and yes.
How'd you get started in Runaway Tours?
That's probably the best way to start. I've been DJing since 1992. I guess I'm not old for Bon Jovi fans, but I'm old for 21-year-olds that DJ for here in Jersey Shore. I was DJing, and I used to work. I got sponsored. Used to be sponsored by Miller Lite. Then I got sponsored by Coors Light, and I would work Coors Light events, 2-hour events. And we had MC with us. I would DJ, and we would have this guy named Rob Fuzz, and Rob Fuzz did the website for Coors Light, a Short Point, the distributor of all the Coors Light and all their brands in our part of New Jersey. And he would come out with his camera, of course, and he would take pictures of everybody, and we would do the events together. We liked the same music, and he was probably one of the nicest guys I ever met. So we became good friends. Then we would send music to each other and stuff. Back in the old days, we had to drop off CDs and cassettes and stuff like that. And when websites started coming around, he ran websites, was his main company. So he decided to make my website for my company, moderndj.com. And he made a website for me that was beyond awesome. And we used it as his it would be his one he used for his sales. So look at this website, and it won awards. It was great. So we worked together on our website for a while. And while he was doing my website, he started doing David Bryan's website and other Bon Jovi affiliated websites. How he got in with them, you probably have to watch his podcast that Jerry did a few weeks ago to find out. In fact, I should probably ask him that, but I'm going to watch that podcast later today. Maybe he'll tell me, but I digress. Okay. So he's, we all know if you go to shows that when John's grandmother said he used to do these private shows, these Runaway shows, that I'm assuming, because I know, is that Matt and Rob are running it, and Rob is doing the website for it, and then Rob is basically, setting it all up. He was the one DJing all the parties when they weren't as big, and when they were as big, Rob knows his Bon Jovi, so he was DJing those parties, and we were still good friends. And he decided he was also DJing the party. He was taking the pictures. He was doing the check-in. He was basically doing everything. So he decided, as the company started getting bigger, they had more of a budget, that he asked me if I could DJ the ones that were in New Jersey, New York area, since I didn't have to fly, I didn't have to get a hotel, and obviously the cost would be as much. So the first one I did was in Weehawken, Sheridan, and I remember Gina, Roger, and their family were there, and they had made stick figure pictures of Rob's face, and they were walking around pictures of Rob's face. I still have it on here. I can find 2 seconds, and my favorite picture, I still have it. Okay, first off, for those of you, I don't know if you can see that, that's Rob and me when he worked at Coors Light years ago.
Oh my gosh.
How young we were. And this is the picture here of the party with Rob's face. They made Rob's face. I don't know if you can see that. I'll get past here. So everybody walked around with that. So I was already amazed. Plus the first party I did, I had got most of my music. David Bryan had given the library to Rob, who gave me all the music for the show, because before I worked for Bon Jovi, I had Simple and Wet, I had New Jersey, I had Crossroads, I had all the singles because I'm a DJ. But when we're not DJ much, especially that time, we played a lot of hip hop and dance, and I didn't get a chance to play a lot of rock. And I liked his stuff, but I didn't know much about him. So I go to first party, and it blew me away how much the Bon Jovi fans knew. So it blew me away. I had to download songs that David Bryan didn't give me, and they knew and you guys knew words to every song. I was blown away. I was sold. From that point on, I was sold. And I went home that next day and I studied, and I realized, now I consider Bon Jovi, my top two favorite acts. I haven't seen him I won't get to that during this thing, but a couple bands I've listened to my whole life. Anyway, so I digress again. So that's how I got started. And eventually, as I started doing the ones in the area, they started getting bigger and more funds in. I believe the NFL had bought part of the company, and I asked to start traveling. So we started working with Don Henley, Joe Walsh, and Florida Georgia Line, and the Bon Jovi shows. And I would work in Austin, Nashville, Dallas, Vegas, and I started doing all the ones around the United States. And then we've done that for a few years, and the cruises came. The six man, it was nice enough and Runaway, nice to put me on those cruises. Had all my cruise friends. They're the best times of my life.
Which we have to mention how you copied me and put on your hoodie.
Bahamas one, and I thought I went to Bahamas when I was an artist. I get a free sweatshirt, but it doesn't happen. And it was sold out by day 2. I didn't get a sweatshirt from Bahamas, but both cruises. Then in fact, Jerry was the first person I saw on the cruise. I got dropped off. I didn't stay at the hotel with everybody else. I stayed in Fort Lauderdale so I could sleep. And I'd never been on a cruise before, and I never been, I've never been on a cruise as a guest or a cruise as working. So I made sure I got some sleep. I could pull up in his cab, and the six man came out to get me. And the first time I walk up is Jerry, and I go, "You're Jerry Braden, because you're a superstar." And he goes, "You're DJ Dave." Like everyone knew each other. I mean, I love Bon Jovi fans. You truly are the best fans in the world. But anyway, so I guess how I got started went through. And I'm very lucky, then through Rob, and you get to Darren. He was first show I did with Darren, and he emceed, and he came up to me and started calling me DJ Dirty Dave, and Casey, just a great staff. I don't think there's anyone in that staff that I met that I do not think is a great person. I consider the whole family the Runaways, and I don't get involved I don't have to run the stuff, and I basically book myself, get my equipment out, work on the inner runnings of how to run something like that, the check-ins and like right now the refunds. That's Megan and Matt and Rob, but to me, I love everybody there, and everybody I met at every Runaway show. It's unbelievable. That's like I do 7 days a week here, and those are like my Oasis parties. Like where I die for August. Broke my heart when August canceled. Broke my heart.
Yeah, I was gonna like I was telling you earlier, I was gonna go to that trip too, and 1 week the 2020 tour gets canceled, and then we're like, well, at least we have the August trip to hopefully look forward to, and then a few days later that gets canceled. Which it's understandable.
Yeah, I thought it was a chance because it's a smaller gathering. Granted, it's in a smaller room. If you have, depending on each trip, I guess around 400 people. I guess in a small, the Sony PlayStation Hall is pretty small, so I guess you're pretty close. I guess that stinks. I would have done a couple of those 20. I didn't get any tickets, but I usually go to ones at the Garden. I was supposed to do an after party after a Garden show in Hoboken too for 2020. I was going to do an after party. Some fans from Spain wanted to sponsor me for an after party. I said I'll do it. The one that was when it was in Newark here, Prudential Center, when I was supposed to be in Grand Canyon, my family, so I couldn't do that one. But the other one, but yeah, tough. It's tough. I hope everyone out there is very safe and staying safe and so forth. Because that's
there'll be more trips. There'll be more tours. I tell you the very next tour, the very first show that happens, I'm going to be there. Next trip, I'm going to be there. I'm having concert withdrawals, especially Bon Jovi concerts. But one thing I want to mention about Runaway tours though is that for any diehard Bon Jovi fan, those are the best events to go to. I've done a couple Runaway trips, and I've done the cruise, and I've met some of the greatest Bon Jovi friends that I've made. Because when you go to a concert, the person that sits beside, I put that in quotes, sick, but the person that stands beside you at these concerts, they mainly know just Live on a Prayer or Bad Name, unless you get lucky and you're by another diehard fan. But I've had a lot of concerts where I'm by someone that only knows the hits. But when you go to these Runaway trips or on the cruise, you're with other diehard fans who can tell you the deep tracks, which song is what is off of what album, and the outtakes, all the deep stuff. So that's what's remarkable about these trips, and you make memories with them, and then you get to see John in an intimate setting, and the list goes on. I think that's what's so great about these trips is that it gives you an insight of John that you don't get to normally see on tour or anywhere else.
Sure. Besides John, almost everybody else, like afterwards, you could come talk to, and you realize that I realized doing these trips that all these superstars that come out, that they're just normal people. You go, excuse me, most of them, and you go just talk to them. You go sit with David Bergman. The first time I met him, I'm talking to him like I'm talking to you. It's David Bergman, like or Darren and those guys and Matt, just a normal people. You wouldn't think so, and
Yeah.
I love it. Like I said, it's the oasis of all shows. I mean, you do the Don Henley ones and the Joe Walsh ones in there, and they're great too, but they haven't done as many as Bon Jovi ones have. They get there to the party and they walk around aimlessly, like little going, what should I do? The Bon Jovi ones, you walk in, and especially like Mel and the Jovi Queens are right away. They're straight to the dance floor. So I'm starting out in the beginning when people are walking in. I'm not playing any hits yet. I'm usually playing B or C songs, and because everybody knows them. I'm just saying, and they come out, doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. Have the Queens girls, they like to hear that One Blood. Is that a song? It's horrible for me to ask.
But by Queen, you said?
By Bon Jovi.
What song?
One Blood? Blood Money.
Blood on Blood. Or Blood Money.
Blood Money, that's it.
There's Blood on Blood, which is on the New Jersey album, and then Blood Money on the Blaze of Glory.
That's the one. Like, for 8 shows, they would yell at me not to play Blood Money. Who asked for Blood Money in a 3-4 hour show? That's Bon Jovi fans. So I played it at one of them finally for them. But that's how great it is. Like I said, you have songs that I can never play everybody's requests. It's impossible. Everyone because everyone knows every song. He's got the library is ridiculous, and you got to kind of, even at the runway, you have a few people, you can't go too deep because it's got to be danceable. Can't play every slow song in a row, etc. Yeah. So, but just amazing. I highly recommend. I'm not saying because I work for them, but I wish more bands that are my favorites as well, like John's, would all do this kind of trip. I've been to a band 311 I like. I've seen a lot of times. They have meet and greets, and they have similar stuff to this, but their stuff does not compare. Does not compare to what this is the top thing there is. I get to see the inside, and like I said, everybody works together. I don't see any fights. I mean, these guys know each other for years. Runaway's been a long time before I started. Years before I started, it's a well-oiled machine at this point. I hope as you guys going and you got to pay for it, I hope that as you go, you guys feel the same, and everyone is as happy when you leave as I am. Obviously, if I'm a DJ and play the greatest music ever, I'm going to enjoy it anyway. But I love it. Most people I talk to Facebook, they're all Bon Jovi fans. They're, so I always just blows me away.
Yeah.
Even this, I get to talk to you on this and make me feel like I'm famous, and I'm just playing Bon Jovi music. I'm just a DJ.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how and I don't know how it compare. You've seen the other fandoms for Don Henley and other bands, but in the Bon Jovi fandom, it's a very unique group. We all connect, to each other from different countries, and when we'll go days or months without talking, and then we'll go to a show, and then we just talk all day. It's amazing how connected we stay. And there's Bon Jovi friends that I have that I talk to every single day. A few from the cruise and the other runway trips I've done. So it's unique how it makes us well connected.
That's the whole idea from the beginning. Everything I understood is not only the show is, of course, the show and the meet and greet. Of course, I watch people in the meet and greet. I go help out, and they walk up and fade stuff. I get it. That's huge, but I believe it's not the same. The polka party is just as big as the show itself because, like I said, you get anywhere from 250 to 400 people. And like I said, I'll go see Billy Joel at the Garden. He plays every month. So I used to go. I stopped going every month. I couldn't stand the fans around me. I stand up for anything but River Dreams, which is like the living on prayer. If they stand for anything else, they just sit down. And lucky for me, the Bon Jovis I've seen in the gardens that I usually get a free suite or something from the company. But I haven't. I understand. Like I said, you go to a show here, you're sitting down. There's not a person in that room. Every person in that room, except maybe somebody's wife or husband that brought him, but out of 300 people, 275 people know as much about Bon Jovi or more about Bon Jovi than I do, or that Darren does, or that Casey does. You're not going with, no one's paying what you have to pay or doing what you have to do to go when they only have Super When Wet, and a great album like I did in 1999, So you're gonna, you have to know your stuff, So that to me is nothing like it.
So how do you decide what songs that you want to play on these trips? We'll get to the cruise next, but on just regular trips, how do you decide what kind of music to play?
Over the years, I kind of separate my music in an A list, a B list, a C list, and it's not like any song is better than any other song. But you have to know, you got to fill your slow songs in when you can. You can't play them all, so you put a slow song. You got to kick it up. A lot of songs have to be improved. If I'm doing a cruise, I didn't have an MC, so I MC myself on the at least the Mediterranean cruise. On the regular shows, Darren is the main MC. So when I think of a song to play, majority of the time he's got to agree with me. So overall, he usually says okay for most stuff. I won't tell you what songs he doesn't really like as much, et cetera, et cetera. We all have our personal favorites.
Yeah.
And after a while, doing a lot of shows, I know like what songs. I know Tracy's favorite song. I know Terry's favorite song. I know just from talking to them. So and I know what songs that will get the people that are sitting there, get them back up because I've done so many. I'm pretty good even here in New Jersey when I DJ for thousands of people, especially in the summer. If someone comes up and asks for a song, I may not remember your name, but I know your song. It's always been a quality of mine since '92. Now, I know most people's names at the Runaway shows are very tight and close, but other stuff. So to me, so to choose, no show's exactly the same. U.S. shows, we did one at Vanity, not at the Hard Rock. It's not. I don't remember which show exactly it was, and it started at 7:00. The party is supposed to be 3 hours. We ended up going 5 hours. I played only song I repeated was "Living on a Prayer" for 5 hours. Even though Darren could tell me to keep playing stuff again, I wouldn't do it. And everyone danced for 5 hours with one repeat. I'll never forget that party. At 12:00, they still wanted to stay. They'd kick us out, which was great. And really, I was playing stuff that was in my C- list because I don't ever get to play. You only get to play usually 3 hours. So honestly, you got to play a lot of the greatest hits, obviously, and a lot of the faster songs you can dance to more than the songs. When I was on the cruise, I had an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half set. It was even less. So cruise is a little different because you had 2,000 people. A little more people that didn't know every song compared to a Runaway show, which everyone knows every song. But there's certain stuff. I feel bad sometimes. People come up and ask for stuff, and it's really slow or really rare, and they're tough to play because you don't get. If you could play, if I could do a marathon show, like a dance-a-thon, a Bon Jovi dance-a-thon. We start at like 3:00 and you play to the last person dances. I would do that all day. Play 9-10 hours of Bon Jovi and not repeat a song. And people, you guys would all know every word and dance to every one. You wouldn't care if you heard "Always" It's a Bed of Roses because you would just sing both songs. Unless when you're in a club with the lights and you go "Always It's a Bed of Roses," it's too much. You got to go "Always" into "Blood on Blood" or "Always in a Born My Baby." You got to kind of throw it. Yeah, and you can only do. You always never say goodbye. It's the official last song of Runaway. That's always the last song. Besides that, you maybe get a couple more because otherwise, the MCs, because they don't want to. All right, let's keep it going. Everyone's high energy, So
Yeah.
The is I have my secret lists of ABC songs, so I know I'm not playing it twice, and I know what's left and where to put it. And the good thing is, even if you get a C song, which is not, I'm not going to tell you, which all still like would be on the greatest hits album of some sort. Most people will dance to it anyway. Like I said, it's Bon Jovi. If you do a Don Henley one, you better stay with all A songs and B songs. Plus, it doesn't have a lot of songs that are fast. They're all slow songs. But anyway, that's a bad example. But you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. You gotta keep that momentum going with energy, and you don't want to be a Debbie Downer and playing. I'll be there for you and thank you for loving me and all these ballads in a row.
I want all 300 to 500 people. I want them in my room, and at midnight like the Omnia show, we were at the 7 to 10, and they extended us to 10:30 at the last one in Vegas. Supposed to be 7 to 10, and they had like Tiesto playing at night and crazy stuff at the lines outside. And 7 to 10, they let us go to 10:30. And I remember at 10:20, they're kicking me out of boots, so I didn't really see a lot of it. My favorite part is sometimes jump into the never say goodbye and you hold each other. So I'm looking out, and you got like the Runaways that were able to stay because they let all the young people in for a hip hop room and a dance room. So I remember seeing, never forget, like Tracy. I remember seeing Tracy and their crew in the middle, Pam and all that, and the Bubbles, and you got the other side. You got people and Kelly and all around, and you get between them walking like this in front of a dance. In front of them, you got 400 little teenagers or 21-year-olds going, "What the F's going on?" It was the craziest thing ever, but that was my favorite part. Never say goodbye. That's how it was. They didn't care. The Bon Jovi fans didn't care that all these 22-year-olds were yelling in front of them because they're in the zone. Bon Jovi fans, they're in the zone. That was that like excuse me, in the zone. And first off, I need to say in the beginning, anybody listening, I had been in my house by myself. I'm a single guy with 2 cats. One of the cats over here, and I've basically been by myself for 42 days. So my stories are a little winded, or I repeat myself. I blame it the fact that as a DJ, you're a people person, and I've seen basically 3 people in 42 days. So we just got extended. I won't get into that, but so I apologize for that. Some people, I know people are home now and they've been by themselves, or even with your families, and you haven't left your house 42 days, and you missed it. It's your mind's not the same. So I apologize if I seem to be more winded than usual.
No, I think you're fine. Let's talk about the cruise, because obviously, I went on the Caribbean. You've done both, but let's talk how much fun that cruise was. That was a blast. Yeah, I remember you ran so much. I always saw you doing your exercise every day, running like in the morning, afternoon, and night.
Yeah, I treated the Caribbean cruise more than I did run the Mediterranean cruise, but Caribbean cruise is the first cruise I ever been on, or the first cruise I ever DJ'd, obviously. And you have your shifts, and obviously my main goal is to make sure my shifts are good. I wanted to make sure to do press. A 6-man had never. The owner of 6-man, Anthony, he was at the Vegas show. We did the Rock House party. I think it was the one before the cruise. There was like 500 people there. He was there when he talked about the cruise, and Matt was like, "Go get your passport." But he had heard me, but I had, on the first cruise, you had Bon Jovi, you had Collect the Soul, you had Tonic, you had other bands, Waylon, right here, of course, Slipper and Wet, Wisconsin, all these guys, and they had their spots. And normally they had what's called the Silent Disco at night, which has DJ Soulman, who amazingly, on a side note, I'm not a big DJ guy. I'm a guitar guy, and I play EDM dance music when I have to. I like hip hop. I'll listen to that, but I would thank God that's more hip hop now than the dance music for me. But I'm more a guitar guy. So for me, my favorite DJ in the country is DJ Soulman. He opened up for my band. I see 150 times 311 a couple times. He's a band called the Funk Junkies, and I met him in 2011 and 2012, and I had not seen him. And his company does the disco up top. So he had 3 DJs playing dance music stuff, and I go on. I play all Bon Jovi. So the people on the cruise, 6-man cruise, they had never had that before. They didn't realize it. I was doing my pool party the first cruise, and someone asked me, "Do you play anything else?" I said, "Well, give me an hour, 20 minutes. I'm not playing anything else." At the second Mediterranean cruise, they gave me a 3-hour shift, so I played a Journey. I played, some bands that the Bon Jovi fans like, but it's still most Bon Jovi. People go there on a cruise, like you said. In my opinion, they want to hear John. They're on the cruise with 2,000 Bon Jovi fans, and they don't, it's usually like the one guy up top, one husband, who was yelling, "Live on a prayer at me, live on a prayer." He's yelling like Poison. The other cruise, not, that's somebody's husband, as you know. So
yeah.
Anyway, so the first cruise was great. So to me, I took a nap like I do at home before I worked. When I work day, I make sure I get a jog. I try to jog every day. I'm an old man. I got to DJ for young people. I got to try stay in shape. So I like it. And I remember on the Mediterranean cruise, they were doing the karaoke, the rock and roll karaoke. And I got up late, and I decided to go jog around on the karaoke, behind the karaoke. People taking videos of me. And you jog on the cruise is not fun. It's a quarter mile. You gotta do like 20 laps to go 1 mile, and it's all wet around the corner, and I'm afraid of like, it's boats and. But yeah, I did see me run, and yeah, so I try to keep a schedule. The second cruise, I didn't sleep. I hung out with that band Collateral all the time, late. All up Stuart Mac, hung out with the bands, and I learned the first cruise. Like that you cruised the Caribbean cruise. That your first cruise you went on as a guest?
Yeah. That was the first cruise. Yeah, that was the first cruise. I'd done like little boat things and stuff beforehand, but yeah, that was the first one.
I mean, I DJ'd weddings and stuff. They do a lot of boat cruises out of this Jersey Shore around here, but nothing like that, like a full cruise.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know what to expect. By the second cruise, you're kind of like a professional. So I knew that I couldn't sleep on the boat anyway. So why bother trying to take a nap? You only live once. So the first cruise, I spent more time hanging out with the Runaway crew. I hung out a lot with DJ Soul Man because, of course, he was my hero, and his disco DJs and the people. I had people came. Team DJ Dave came and hung out with them a lot. And of course, anybody come talk to me, I would talk to them. On the second cruise, I remember telling Angelo from Collateral at the Hard Rock in Barcelona that I warned his difference. I said, you don't waste time. You have time. Go talk to everybody because everyone. To me, the cruises, it was not even like. Well, the first cruise they put me in the small room. They put me in the. They had a small room. I forget what it was called. The second room had a cruise. The small room. It was Bliss. I think it was called Bliss. The room was Bliss. I have it on here. I got everything in a photo album that I saved to give you. Where's my schedule at? Bliss Lounge. So on the second cruise, they put me in the atrium. When you got on the first cruise and you were setting up your set-in, the atrium was that first room that had the stairs, and I played on the stairs right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the J had me on the stairs. The Pearl had a stage there. I did all my shows on the atrium, the second one. So people would just walk by the main strip. They would hear me, and they go, "Wow, this is great." And they would come in, and I would meet so many new people, and they come, they hear John playing, and they came to listen to it. On the first cruise, Six Man put me in these rooms, so the Runaways all came in, and they were great. Like they would come in, and I'd be packed with the Runaways because they knew who I was, and they would come in. But the second cruise, everybody was in watching because they knew where it was, and plus they had videos of the first cruise, and they studied it. So that was a little weird, But one thing, it's amazing. Like, for the cruise, you realize, like I said, how nice it is. You go down to the casino afterwards, and I'm sitting there, and Jesse comes up and talks to me. It's a conversation. I had never really met him before the first cruise, and he called DJ Dave and started talking to you, and yes, Dave Bergman, how nice these people are, and then you walk around a cruise, and everybody they come up talking. It's just it's 4 days of like an oasis, like It's like everybody you like in the world on a boat, and you have no internet, and nobody can bother you. And there's no distractions, and it's unreal. By the time the second cruise came, I wanted to make sure that Six Man gave me more spots and better. After the first cruise, I'd give Six Man credit. Running with credit, they called. They wanted to Skype, and of course, it's my first Skype ever, so we didn't do that. But they called and they asked Andy for Six Man. He asked, what could you do to make it better? And I said right away, I said, this is the best experience of my life. You don't have to change much, but I'd like to do more. Like at Bon Jovi shows, what a lot of them I'll do the Runaways. I'll do music before they come on. You have me, just use me. I'm not, I get paid a certain amount. You don't have to pay me more money. The more I can play, the better. Instead of having the pool for the first cruise and you're waiting for the show at the front, they had Pandora playing, right?
That's one thing I wanted to bring up is I remember on the first cruise, we were wondering why they would have music on the loudspeaker half the time instead of just having more live bands or more, having you play, for example. Because I remember myself and some other Bon Jovi friends, we camped out in front of the stage both days from like 7 a.m. till showtime that night for the.
Never jogging. That's where you saw me jogging. I saw you down below.
Yeah, and so we were wondering because half the time they would have like music speakers play, and we're like, why don't they just have more of you DJ stuff and play more Bon Jovi music? And a lot of people were saying that on the cruise, but I don't want to mistake that for saying anything bad about the cruise because I've been to about 52, 53 Bon Jovi events. The cruise was the best event I've ever been on. Bon Jovi.
I had seen that the first show. I remember being in the Bahamas getting text messages. Where are you? Why don't you play? And I love to play. I don't. So during the set cruise, I told them, I said, instead of putting a set list on, and I don't know if I could give a secret, but obviously the reason why they don't have bands on during the shows is they got to set up a John stage. They can't really have any play. So I said, all you need for me is to give me a table and a wire. I don't got to be. I could be in the corner underneath the overhang for all I care. I just rather be there playing. I'm there. So the second cruise, I did do that for one of the 2 days. They put me on for. It's supposed to be 3 hours. The weather, I got about 2 hours on. The second day, I was supposed to play on the outside. It rained, so it was actually Super Wet was going to play, and myself outside instead of that set list they had song list they were playing continuously. They tried. So that's the kind of stuff they did between the second cruise and the first cruise. So people ask me which cruise you like better. I usually, admittedly, say the second cruise. Number one, like I said, I was more experienced. I knew what I was doing. First cruise, I was in awe. Second cruise, I got put in a better spot, so I had more people and better times because they knew what I was doing. And other than that, I love them both. Plus, the second one was in August, and the first one was in April. So the second one's in your head more. The second one I got to go play in England on stage with the band Collateral in front of like 10,000 people. So like stuff like that happened, and I was in England, Europe, and then not Miami. But same time. I also had my biggest pass on the first cruise. I had a friend pass away while I was away on the first cruise. So I try to remember the second cruise, so I don't think about that. But we won't get that. But man, you are right. I mean, I love the Runaway shows more than anything else, but they're just totally two different entities. Yeah, total entities. You can't really compare a cruise of 4 days, 2,000 people, and the food and stuff going on to a 2-day trip. When if you're most people who work 5 days a week, you take a Friday off, you're flying down on a Runaway. You do a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday travel home. Monday, you go back to work. You have 3 greatest days of your life, but it's 2.5 days compared to a cruise where it's like a 5-day event. And you're together. Like if you're in Vegas during a show, like the last show, like we hung out afterwards, and people went to go see Keith Urban. Other people went to other shows, and it's there's stuff to go on. You're in a cruise. You're in a cruise. So I'm hoping this all passes, and. First of all, I hope Six Man still does well because everyone on Six Man, like Runaway that I met, they're a tremendous company as well. They treated me like family right away. And we were in Barcelona hanging out, and they went to get drinks, and they just hung out like your family did a couple of these. And in reality, I was only hired by Runaway. I don't work for Six Man. So I've only done those 2 cruises. If you're listening by Six Man, please put me on more Six Man cruises. But anyway, I really hope it goes. That's a joke, by the way. I mean, I'm watching, but I should have done that. But anyway, so again, 42 days. But anyway, it's just I lost my train of thought. But I mean, they treated you well. Like you go to Six Man, they give you you set up on the side of the stage, everything you need. The sound guys, Jay and everyone else in the crew, they're great. It's both of them unbelievable experience. I must admit, I guess my favorite DJ gig ever, most likely, probably be the Mediterranean cruise, followed by the Caribbean cruise second. You're probably right. Even though I love the Runaway shows. More than life itself. I live for them. And I've done some great things. Well, I've DJed Fashion Week in New York. I've worked for Monster and Volvo. I've been on MTV. I got to work by Matt Pinfield's people. I know. But I mean, nothing like cruise. Plus the Caribbean cruise. I walk around. Everyone on the Caribbean cruise knew who I was because they'd seen the videos of the Mediterranean cruise. They'd seen the videos of Caribbean cruise. They've had 3 months, and 6 minutes. A great job of setting the photos out. Like, you probably got my photo, which I never like my photos out. They set the promos out. Like I said, I don't think it's one or the other. I think if they told me I'll do a cruise for 4 days and we'll go from New Jersey to Maine 4 days, I'd go on it and love it. It's just not really where you're going. Like I didn't go off the boat to Mallorca in Spain. I didn't go off the boat. I stayed on so I could play for the people on the boat. And in the Caribbean, I went to Bahamas for like an hour. It was the cruise that made everything. Okay, so I'm a little winded here. What was your favorite part of the, besides John's shows, of course? And you had met John before. I'm just seeing pictures about the Runaway shows. And let me ask you this. I got a question for you. When you do the meet and greets at the Runaway show, do you get to have a conversation with him?
No, usually the photo, and I agree, photo ops are very quick. They're about, I've been lucky to where, I got like maybe 20 seconds or something. But it's long enough to say hi, get a picture, and say thank you. A lot of people will complain that it's not a meet and greet and that it's just a photo op. Well, if you think about it, say if you have 200 people for these runaway trips that want to do the meet and greet, you got to think of how much. First of all, the photo ops take about an hour to 2 hours, around that time frame. That's just the photo op. That's just for the 10 seconds to go up, get a photo, and go. If you were to do a meet and greet for those 200 people, that would be about 2 to 3 minutes per person. You're looking at 3-4 hours. That's just impossible to do. Even when other artists that go on tour and they do these VIPs like Kiss or Motley Crue or anybody, they do these meet and greets. They're the same thing. It's a photo op, long enough to get a photo and then you're gone. But I've always been very happy with my experience with runaway trips, especially with the photo ops. I've been able to say hello, get my photo, and there's no other official way you can meet John Bon Jovi except for runaway trips. So to me, it's worth it.
I would, well, obviously I agree. I'm just wondering on the cruise. I got the picture of you see people lined up. There's a lot more people. And the Runaway, the ones at Runaways, once or twice I've been there for the pictures, but usually I'm already at the party's at the same place. That's where I could usually go and I'll get my picture taken or I'll go see what's going on or help Rob and Darren and Matt and those guys out for the pictures. But if the venue's somewhere else, when that show is over, I got to go set up. So I don't get to, I have 3 pictures with them. I've had a couple sets and stuff. I don't talk to them all the time. I'm not, Darren, these guys, but like I said, to me, I enjoyed it. It was perfect. Like I said, I'm not here, I was gonna say the story. We were at BB King's once in a show, and he was there in the green room with the family because it's a local show, and he wasn't on tour. And I guess Matt, I didn't really see him because I was working. And it was one of the shows, if anyone's been there, where Matt's kids went on and they were scratching on my DJ stuff, and the whole place was going, we're called Mix Master, I forget their names, I apologize, and we're calling them out. And he came to the stage and gave me like a thumbs up, and then some girl, some drunk lady, probably the only Runaway didn't like, jumped on stage and started running after him until Darren had to go tackle her, get her away from him, and then he walked away. So it's like sometimes you get a chance to, something else happens. Sometimes, and it kind of shows, and he's the man. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Some fans get a little too excited. My whole approach is, if you go up and you show respect and you're kind and you're not a creepy fan, you're always going to get a good experience. I've met every member of the band, whether it was official or if it was by happenstance, by luck. They've always been very nice to me. And I've heard so many thousands of other stories from other fans who have good experiences. So
I agree. Obviously, the actual band, the David Bryan, I met a few times, but
David was great.
We don't do like my shows. The only shows the Runaway shows we do anyone else but John is the ones for the regular tour. Like we do the Q&A sessions. I did one with David Bryan and Phil X, and one David Bryan and Tico. Usually David Bryan's part of 3. And again, I'm DJing afterwards, so I don't get to stay and get the photo op and everything else at those shows. I actually read David Bryan at a Cowboys-Giants game at Meadowlands. He talked for like a half hour. I missed the whole quarter. He was a great guy. He was a great guy. I'll be honest, I was really drunk, and he was really nice to me. Could have been like this drunk. What's this drunk guy? I was hammered. But that's our secret. The world's now. But yeah, I love, like I said, I've done nothing. Granted, I'm the DJ, so I guess a little easier. But to me, I've watched them in center bar afterwards, and Matt and Dave are hanging out, and Runaways will come up, and I've never seen anyone be rude or I'm Matt Bon Jovi or I'm Tony, and you don't talk to me. I see John and stuff where he's not supposed to talk to people or do stuff, go out of his way to make sure people are happy. when he, stuff like someone got put a signature on the arm to make a tattoo in the Vegas show, signature. And if you go to the Runaway shows, that's not usually thought fondly of, but he did it, and it made the guy's life. He's in Brazil, he made his life. He took pictures of it, but anyway, it's just to me, it's a Runaway family more than a Runaway show. Granted, again, I don't have to pay for it, but it's a Runaway family, Runaway show.
Yeah.
Like this is the most fun I've had talking to you that I've had in 5, 6, 7 weeks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Dave, I appreciate you coming on today, and it was kind of nice to talk with you about everything. And I hope you're staying safe and you're staying well. And I know those 42 days, they can get pretty long. I do the same thing every day. I go to work and I come home, and that's it. I've been trying to get some exercise, but I feel you on the 42 days.
I'm jealous. I mean, in New Jersey here, we've been extended June 1st. And as far as bars go, I try to think about it. New Jersey, I run a DJ company called moderndj.com. I got about 20 or so DJs that I hire out and work for me or work on their own. I hire out at 20 or 30 venues. And for me, that's my whole company. Besides, I do this stuff for fun. This is, I live for the phone call going, we got another show coming. I'm like, and I start dancing. That's the day of Sunday. And it's, for me, it's not only, yes, I can see the John show. It's always great. For me, it's to see all of you, to see the Runaway, the Wolfpack, we call ourselves, the Runaway Wolfpack. To me, if I don't see Darren once a year, or Casey, I do see Rob once in a while. He goes to Long Island. He'll stop down here to shore, but he'll go down to the shore. But but you see everybody on Facebook. But you go right in like the last show, and I'm just sitting there waiting to go to our staff dinner, and Tracy Lynn and Lisa, the Pittsburgh crew, I call them, Cheryl, they come right up to me. They give me a gift. I got this from Dee Dee and the Jovi girls. To me, it's so touching because they spend their time. I was supposed to go see Eagles Hotel California and Vegas, and I couldn't go. I got to go see him at the Garden. I went with Grace and Rob. We went for that one, and I didn't get to go. And I think it was Colleen, CJ, Tracy, Pam. Forgive me, I have the card in my refrigerator. Forgive me, I forgot anybody. And they sent me a Hotel California T-shirt. I got like a little shoe. I mean, that's how nice Runaways are, their fans are. That you would even think of me to interview me for your interview. Who you guys should, and everyone should check them all out. I'm going to do it now. I've been stuck doing work now. I'm officially free. You got Lorenza, she's a superstar. Phil X, superstar. Rob Fuzz, superstar. And I get to be interviewed with these people in the same length. I go to dinner with Denver. I go out to dinner with Gina and Roger and their family. Do you know Gina and Roger? They have the kids. The kids are. You definitely know if you've seen them. They come to every show with two little kids, Ryan and they go at the dinner. They go, well, we've met Mr. John, Mr. Richie, and Mr. David, Mr. Rob, Mr. Darren. Now we Mr. Dave. I'm like, no, I'm not in that category. But speechless. Are we on 30 minutes yet? Are we almost there?
I was going to end the recording here. I was going to thank you. We can still chat afterwards, but I'm going to probably end the recording.
Let's sit there with us, make sure everyone is safe. All your Runaways, all Bon Jovi fans are safe. I will say this, and don't tell my friends we're 311 fans, because that's the band that would be my Bon Jovi band before I worked Bon Jovi that I've seen 150 times. Now, I do say this. I don't say this to kiss your butt. I don't say this to make you feel any better. I don't say this because I DJ for them. Bon Jovi fans are the best fans in the world. I want you all to stay safe. And when he goes back on tour, you'll know everybody to be safe because John always looks out for everybody. As you can see, if you do a Runaway show, he's a very honest guy. He'll tell you exactly what he feels. And he's nothing fake about him. And if you see what he does, and you know it, you know it. So when he goes on tour, I will see you there. If you ever see me walking around anywhere, I'll have one more story, then I'll get off. You got time?
Yeah, I got time.
Okay, so I went to see Elton John I followed him around. I saw John in Nashville, Memphis, and Atlanta, October. So when I went to Nashville, it was amazing. First off, the Titans were playing. So I had 5 or 6 people that were there from the cruise. They actually went and came to visit me on Broadway and have a drink and say hello, which was awesome. Then I'm at the Elton John show in Nashville, and I'm watching from the bar across the street at the Bridgewater Arena, and I see the line wasn't a line to get in; it was a line for merch. But I thought I had to go in. It was a Monday Night Football game, so I'm a big football fan. So I go to my levels. I'm 200 level for a ridiculous price, and I go up to second level, and I'm sitting there. These two older women are at this one little table. The TV's in the corner, and I walk over to the table. And I had the sweatshirt on, of course. I walk over to the table, and I go, "Do you mind if I sit here and watch the football game?" He goes on at 8:05 every day. I've been to 6 of these already. I'm going to watch the football, which is 9:05 there, I guess. And the lady goes, "Sure, DJ Dave." I look at her and go, I'm in awe. Like, if I drink a little bit, I usually go, "I'm DJ Dave. I work at Bon Jovi." It's, people mention Bon Jovi, and they say, "Oh, you're from Jersey." I love Bon Jovi. I love saying that I work for the Runaway Tours and et cetera. So I thought I was drinking. I mentioned I did not. So she goes, "I'm Laura." Her name was Laura Dotson, and she was a runaway, and she was on the Caribbean cruise. And she goes, "You're DJ Dave from the cruise," and I almost had a heart attack. Her friend comes by and goes, "DJ Dave," and drops her drink, and I'm just like a cloud nine for the rest of the trip because it was just amazing. Then I ended going to Atlanta. I went to 6-man offices and got to talk to Andy, and they were on the Kiss cruise, so I didn't get to see everybody, but I got to see a few people in the offices. That was a cool trip. But that just shows you that if you see me anywhere, please come say hello. I may not remember your name right away, but I remember faces and I remember everything like that. So thank God I started DJing. It's a God-given gift that I can remember songs and people. But it's just an amazing experience to be considered part of the Bon Jovi family. It's just an amazing experience. But Jerry, I want to thank you for asking. Again, a big honor to be here. To me, this is a huge honor. I'm make sure said to me, I'll make sure I'm posted all around so everybody knows. And I hope I watch it later. I sound cool. Don't sound like I sound cool. I don't say anything else. And you always sound good, so I'm not worried about that. But I want to thank everybody. Everybody stay safe. I have no news on when anything's to go on. I'm as lost as everybody else. But I hope I get back to DJ by July. And if you're in Jersey Shore, you make sure you come see me. You're always invited. I'm working 6 days a week. Go check out moderndj.com or send me a message if you're in town. I get Runaways come visit me once in a while. That's the Shipwreck and Point. The owners there were on the Caribbean cruise. The owners there, they didn't even see me on the Caribbean cruise. Called me next day and hired me to DJ their bar because they were Bon Jovi Runaways, the Caribbean cruise, et cetera, et cetera. So, your Jersey Shore, contact me. We are all one big family. Jerry, you're in Pennsylvania. What part of Pennsylvania you in?
Erie, Pennsylvania.
Is that near? That's Ohio, right?
That's right on the border of Ohio. Yeah, so northwest.
So Pittsburgh's 5.5, 6 hours from here. Cleveland's like 8, 9.
Pittsburgh's about 2 hours from here, and then Cleveland's about an hour and a half. So
you're 7.5 hours. It's not too bad.
Yeah. So
you make sure you're at Jersey Shore. If you're going to see a show at the Garden, although I live by the Garden, I may be at the show. But if I'm not at the show, it's not very easy just to go up and have a drink in New York City from Jersey Shore. Don't be offended. I get a lot of calls from people. I'm in New York City. How come you won't come see me? It's a 2-hour train ride or, 3 hours to get in, 40 minutes to get home driving. So,
yeah.
But anyway, here I am rambling again because once I hang up with Jerry, I'm back to be by myself.
Well, I want to thank you again for coming on and chatting. It was great talking with you, and I hope you stay safe and stay well. And I'm sure I'll see you again somewhere.
Definitely. I always say that we will meet again. Every Runaway, we will meet again. As long as John's still playing, we will meet again.
That's right. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.